conversation. We talked about it before. Mace, you actually weren't here that one episode, so it's circling back up again. Want to get you guys' thoughts. So reports, alleged reports, got to make that clear, are saying Anthony Edwards paid $1.08 million in child support all at once, covering 18 years worth of payments. The baby mom, Ayesha Howard, shut that rumor down, basically saying that court documents, all that stuff hasn't been finalized, that hasn't went through. There has been no terms that have been agreed upon to that point. So given this whole situation, just for backstory, it was alleged that he didn't want visitation or custody of this newborn that he had with this woman. So this story keeps coming back. It's not going anywhere. You know, she's making her statements. Of course, Anthony Edwards has not said anything on his end, but given all, you know, the conversation around it, what advice, Mace, first, would you give somebody in this situation? What is your stance? How do you think this type of thing should be handled? Because obviously he's in the league playing basketball. She's clearly frustrated on her end. What would be your stance? What
would be my stance as a man?
Yes.
Having a baby with the young lady, is 100% his baby?
Yes.
All right. So now you have a baby.
She's also not a young lady.
With the young lady, huh?
She's not a young lady, but we'll go with that.
All right. What is she?
An older lady.
Oh, she's older.
Yes.
Hey, you know.
Okay.
You did what you did to get where you got to go. Oh, man, I hate when I have to deal with these things because they're so touchy, but let's just look at it for what it is. If you, as a man, you have a baby with this young lady, she's not a young lady. You still have to take care of the responsibility, right? But the responsibility is not just a financial responsibility, because there's an emotional responsibility, because that's another young lady that's going to be raised, right? So if he just put money on it, like to band-aid the situation, then you're allowing another broken young lady to grow up and be out there, you know, twerking, doing everything else that guys that are dads don't like to see. You know, see, young ladies like to twerk, but if you ask your dad how he feels about your twerking, you will really find out. You know, the girl said, I'm just having my fun. I'm glad Stat, you know, got low. Because listen, if you were to put the camera on guys when guys are like this on a back, right? You would just say, he's like, God, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? She's thinking she's having the time of her life. But back to what you're saying. You know, this is why I gotta be present. I went all down that road just to show you, Anthony Edwards, you're gonna have to figure out how to be present if that's the case, you know. And I know there's other things going on in Atlanta. There's other things going on with the young lady's present baby daddy. So therefore, there may be some resistance there to be a part of it, because all kind of things that I really got to figure out how to communicate. But this is why it's important not to have a baby before you want to be with a person, because this is what can possibly happen. You can end up with a baby that brightens your day up. It's the most beautiful thing that ever happened to you. And a guy on the other side of it don't want to be nowhere a part of it, because he actually wasn't having sex with you to have a family. He just was trying to have fun. And you know, if you knew that, can't blame him for it.
So on the other end, sorry, Cam, before you go. So say I'm a man, right? And, you know, the girl that I'm messing with gets pregnant, right? I'm a young man.
Yeah.
I have the money. I don't want to be present. I don't want a kid.
Yeah. But there's a kid.
But I'm just being in that point of view. Like, I don't want a child. So then what? That's kind of the root, really.
Yeah, that is the root. But that's what I'm trying to say is the world doesn't work like that. Just because you got money You just get the opt out of being a dad. The world doesn't work like that. But there is a world where there's a young lady that say, okay, you
Y'all are
don't want the
mad
baby.
long-winded with this joint, man. Like, God damn, man. This ain't the therapy. Give y'all opinion. Keep it moving, man. Fucking stat. You need advice. Call your dad right now. What you doing out here? We've been talking about this for 7 minutes. Fuck is y'all talking about? Yo, listen, man. I'm gonna take my tape. Y'all want to continue? I'm gonna go take a walk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Motherfucking Anthony Davis offered to pay. First of all, I got 2 questions.
Edwards.
You mad rude. Talk about she's not. Pardon me, Anthony Edwards. First of all, Stat, you mad rude saying Mace can't call that lady a young lady. She's younger than Mace and myself, so she's not a young lady to us because she's old to you. That's mad rude.
No, in comparison.
Mace, I got another question.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's rude because Mace called her a young lady. He didn't say Anthony Edwards called her a young lady. He said a young lady. That was rude. So that's first and foremost. Murder, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If a 15-year-old kid pop up right now and you the father, you welcome them into your house where you live at right now?
A 15-year-old kid pops up now. It's not a question of am I having over? It's a question of does my wife want to have it over?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards may have a girl. Your sons may be like, what the fuck is going on? What do you mean? The niggas, you may have a whole nother situation where it's pressure on Anthony Edwards to say, get with that or don't get with that. Because if I'm leaving, if you're dealing with that for 18 years, I agree with you, Murder, 100%. You can't throw money at the problem. And all the people I fuck with are great fathers. They're in kids' life. But it's 2 things, and what I'm about to say, I'm not supporting it. But at least he's trying to pay. Some niggas be ducking it. Some niggas don't even want to pay the child support. Now, what this young lady did, though, Murder, in case you didn't notice, I'm going to add some more context to this for you real quick. They had the sex or whatever, the baby in Georgia. She moved to L.A. to have the baby in L.A. to get L.A. rights. Anthony Davis said, nah,
Edwards.
This baby was in Georgia.
Killer, you remember what I told you about L.A.?
Give me a second.
Yeah.
He's trying to say, yo, nah, this baby happened in Georgia. Fuck, she moved to L.A. for. So now that's the dispute. Anthony Edwards is trying to get the baby back in Georgia, which I'm not sure, but from what I heard so far, they're saying, nah, this is a Georgia baby. But yes, Mace, you absolutely said the child support is cheaper in Georgia. So I just wanted to add some context before you guys kept going on about how you felt, because it was things left out, Mace, that you didn't know about this.
You gotta keep,
so go ahead.
You gotta keep Georgia business in Georgia, man.
But just the fact she did that, how do you feel about her even doing that?
Oh, the move to LA multiplies the money in like 300%, almost 300%.
No, I agree with you, but how do you feel about her? Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly why.
Me personally, I don't,
my bad, Murder. So what I'm saying is, so what I found out is I just got the information. Just the California judge granted the Anthony Edwards that be under the state of child support in Georgia. But the question, like I said, I'm sorry I didn't hear because I was getting the information. Now I feel more hate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For you to even try that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, let's put yourself in her shoes. All right, niggas playing with me. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Cali and quadruple it because nigga playing games with me. How do you feel about that whole whirlwind? I missed what you said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's really sad because her initial feeling is that he doesn't want my child. That's like the biggest knife that he probably could have hit her with, because you could not want to deal with me, but somebody not wanting to deal with the child evokes like different emotions. So everything at that point is going to be bitter. It's going to be like just the worst of everything, because it's not like you're just doing this to me. You're doing this to this child, and this child don't have nothing to do with it, because like they tell you at any place, you had a good time, right? You did? Yeah, you had a good time, right? this is what it now costs you, you know? And it's an old school player move, but you know, as a young player, he gotta take that one. Whatever it is, he definitely gotta take that one. Cause he gotta support this child. But ladies, if you're out here having babies with celebrities, you get one. You get one. Just know that. You get one. You don't get to get a celebrity baby over here and just pick the celebrities you want babies from. Men don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Forever, we will see you as this man's baby. I know ladies tell you, girl, you looking good. You had it on yesterday. To guys, we will always see you as such and such girl, such and such baby mother. And Killer, am I right?
You're absolutely right, 100%.
Yeah.
Look, we talk about it now. We have no idea, and you was on a roll. I wouldn't even want to stop you, but to answer your question, right? Simons with Portland has a baby with Ingram,
Yeah.
baby mother. Stat, if I'm correct. We don't know this girl name. She just a baby mother.
Yes. We don't, and we don't care about it.
Yeah, at all. We have no idea what her name is. We just keep saying, yo, niggas got the same baby mother. Da, 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 da. So make sure I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, when I say we don't care, I'm saying that's how most men feel, like away from a camera. If that's the girl that I saw with, let's just take somebody, Kelsey, that's his girl. If he was to get her pregnant, he can go on to Taylor Swift, do whatever. Every man will see that young lady. You will find one anomaly, and I guess that's what women have to be looking out for. If you put yourself in that position, now you're looking for an anomaly. You're looking for a guy that's 1 in a billion, 1 in a million, and God bless you in finding it. You can find it, but it's very seldom.
Sorry, Murder. I agree with you 100%. The only way that you're not in the position Mace talks about for females, if you become a celebrity to their status or bigger. Because if you do that, then they tend to look back as whatever. And I'm just using the highest level of Kim Kardashian. If they bring up the Ray J tape, nobody cares. They don't care because she succeeded his level of stardom. We knew, I don't know if Stat's old enough to know, but we niggas know Kim Kardashian for having sex with Ray J.
Yeah.
And then she went on and monopolized that because she has a brilliant mother. They don't give the mother Jenna enough credit on how she markets and advertises her kids, because now the Jenner babies, Kylie and them little niggas, they up. So I'm just saying, for you to be, them little niggas is up. For you to be past, yeah, the little niggas came up. I watched them come up. They're not even Kardashians. They the Jenners. They made a whole new joint.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you're a female and your celebrity succeeds and your money as well, the nigga that was up at the time, then they'll tend to be like, well, let's just wash this away because we all had to do something in our past. That's what they say.
Yeah, Killer, I agree with most of what you're saying, but Ray J didn't give her a baby, though. He gave her a porn tape, though. That's still on the same level. But I was, yeah, you're right. Because a porn tape is just I'm agreeing. Once you give them your womb, like, this guy, you carried his baby, like, most guys would think, I don't want to put my first baby in there. That's not mine.
I get what you're saying. I got what you're saying.
You feel what I'm saying? And then women need to know that, you know what I'm saying? So they can make better decisions. They're like, oh, but it was this. Well, then you need to try to work that out, because that's your guy.
Well, look, Mace, Mace, just playing just other side of the equation. Let's think about this from her point of view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look who her 2 baby fathers are. You could be hanging out with her homegirl may have 3 baby fathers who ain't shit. So don't tell me about mine. Bitch, you over here
With Ralph.
with two-tone.
Yeah, Black Tony.
Two-gun Tommy.
Yeah.
Black Tony, two-gun Tommy. Niggas selling crack, this, that, and third. At least you'd be like, I ain't letting anything nothing me. You, if the argument between the friends, you just letting anything nothing you. I'm just not letting anything nothing me. Depends.
Usually it has something else. Y'all are completely right. Like, and I know, let me say, because I know people are going to be like, oh, this is a double standard. Truly, it's the truth. This segment needs to be called Reality Check, because that's kind of why I posed the question in that way, because there's a lot of layers, but y'all said that's what it is. That's how it's viewed. No matter how you feel about it and what actually happens on the opposite end, that is how it's viewed. And I don't think people are being told the truth.
Yeah,
I just wanted y'all to tell the truth.
And for the young lady in Portland, we care about her, but we don't. You know what we were saying. I want to make sure people don't take that the wrong way.
I mean, people are gonna take the things how they want to take it, regardless. But like you said, your truth. At the end of the day, I think we can all agree that we hope that the baby doesn't, have any repercussions or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, this is a living human being. It's a child. We're hoping that that goes well. As far as the two counterpoints,
gotta be safe out there. You know? Gotta be safe out there, and you gotta protect your energy. You gotta pick your man wisely.
And that's that.
Or men.
Plural, to be exact. Great time with y'all always. That is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.
What really makes this discussion stand out isn't the eye-catching $1.08 million headline. It's how fast the conversation moved beyond the money and into the much deeper issues hiding underneath. At first glance, it sounds like a straightforward story about an alleged one-time payment meant to cover 18 years of child support in a single deal. But the entire narrative shifted the moment Ayesha Howard's side reportedly said nothing had actually been finalized. Suddenly, this wasn't about a massive payout or a public display of responsibility anymore. It became a story about an ongoing legal battle, emotional conflict, and a dispute that clearly isn't ending with one viral headline. That's exactly why the panel refused to blindly accept the number at face value. And honestly, that skepticism makes sense. High-profile athlete cases often see huge financial figures leaked long before paperwork is completed, and those leaks can shape public opinion, apply pressure during negotiations, or make one side appear more reasonable before any agreement even exists. The hosts were smart to point that out early, because once you realize nothing is officially settled, the real focus stops being the dollar amount and shifts toward the legal fight over jurisdiction, custody, and which side is trying to gain leverage before the final terms are locked in. And believe it or not, that jurisdiction issue is actually the biggest clue to why this case became so controversial, even though it didn't receive the attention it deserved until later in the discussion. Reports indicate that while the relationship and conception allegedly happened in Georgia, Ayesha Howard later relocated to Los Angeles to give birth, and that's far more significant than it may sound. That single decision sits at the center of the legal dispute because child support calculations vary dramatically depending on state law, with California often producing much higher financial obligations than Georgia. So when one host joked that the move could increase the financial outcome by roughly 300%, it wasn't just a funny line. It highlighted the exact legal strategy that appears to be driving this entire case. According to the discussion, Anthony Edwards' legal team has reportedly argued that Georgia law should control the matter since the relationship began there, while Ayesha Howard's relocation was viewed by the panel as a calculated move toward a jurisdiction more favorable to higher support awards. The hosts also pointed out that a California judge reportedly applied Georgia's child support guidelines, suggesting Edwards' side secured an important procedural victory, at least at this stage of the case. That ruling may actually carry far more weight than the widely discussed $1.08 million figure, because it establishes the legal foundation that could influence every financial decision moving forward. But where the conversation became even more compelling was in the way each host interpreted the situation from a completely different moral perspective. One host argued that once a child is conceived, parenthood isn't something a person can simply opt out of, regardless of how the relationship ended or how either adult feels afterward. He expanded that point by stressing that financial support alone can never replace emotional involvement, arguing that children who grow up without an engaged parent often carry those emotional consequences well into adulthood. Research has repeatedly explored the long-term effects of parental absence, even if television conversations express those ideas in much simpler or harsher language. Strip away the jokes and dramatic commentary, and the central message remains that writing checks without blank. Showing up emotionally leaves a major part of parental responsibility unfulfilled. Another host approached the issue from a more legal standpoint, and while it may not have been as emotionally satisfying, it brought a different layer to the discussion. His position was that financial success doesn't give anyone the right to walk away from parenthood. But he also acknowledged that many fathers in similar situations fail to provide either financial support or emotional involvement. That distinction mattered because the panel seemed to separate fathers who meet their financial obligations from those who avoid both responsibility and support altogether. Based on what has been reported publicly, the hosts appeared to place Edwards in the first category rather than the second, though whether that interpretation is completely fair remains open for debate. They also referenced reports suggesting Edwards did not seek custody or visitation of the newborn, and that perspective became the lens through which much of the remaining discussion was viewed. The conversation shifted once a female voice joined in, adding an emotional angle that had been missing from the earlier back and forth. Her observation that hearing a father reject the child feels fundamentally different from simply rejecting the child's mother changed the tone of the entire conversation. That distinction reframed the issue from a relationship dispute into something that many viewers perceive as personal abandonment, which naturally creates a much stronger public reaction. When people hear reports that an athlete allegedly wanted no custody or visitation with a newborn, that detail often resonates far more deeply than arguments over money, because it centers on the child rather than the failed relationship between two adults. The panel also suggested that this emotional fallout may explain why the conflict eventually expanded into an aggressive legal battle over jurisdiction instead of quietly ending through a private settlement. From there, the conversation widened beyond Anthony Edwards and Ayesha Howard, turning into a broader discussion about wealthy athletes, public paternity disputes, and the patterns that seem to repeat across high-profile cases. The hosts argued that professional athletes with significant wealth often find themselves involved in complicated legal battles like these, especially when questions of jurisdiction can dramatically change financial outcomes. Whether viewers agree with that perspective or not, the discussion highlights a larger reality about celebrity paternity cases. Public opinion usually forms long before the legal process is complete. At that point, the actual child support figure almost becomes background noise because the conversation transforms into one about motives, credibility, reputation, and who deserves public sympathy. That's exactly what appears to be
happening with Anthony Edwards and Ayesha Howard, where every reported update, whether it's a payment amount, a custody disagreement, or a court ruling, is immediately filtered through public opinion before people even consider the legal facts. When you step back, the biggest takeaway from the entire discussion isn't really the money or the courtroom battle. The panel repeatedly returned to one central question. Regardless of any financial agreement, will Edwards actually be an active presence in his child's life? That distinction between financial responsibility and emotional responsibility became the strongest theme running throughout the conversation. Even if a one-time payment were eventually approved, it would only resolve the legal obligation. It wouldn't answer the ongoing questions surrounding custody, visitation, or parental involvement. And that's why the hosts kept circling back to presence over payment, making it clear they viewed that issue as far more significant than simply writing a large check. Another part of the conversation that deserves closer attention is the discussion surrounding a potential lump sum child support arrangement, because despite how casually it was mentioned, it's actually a fairly uncommon legal strategy. Most child support agreements are designed as monthly payments so they can adapt over time as a child's needs change, custody arrangements evolve, or the paying parent's income increases or decreases. A single payment covering nearly 2 decades removes almost all of that flexibility and essentially locks both parties into today's circumstances while assuming very little will change over the next 18 years. That's a massive gamble for everyone involved. From the paying parent's perspective, it offers certainty and protects against future earnings leading to dramatically higher support obligations, something especially important for a young NBA star whose income could grow substantially throughout his career. From the receiving parent's perspective, however, accepting a lump sum provides immediate financial security but also limits the opportunity to seek additional support later if circumstances change or the athlete's wealth increases significantly. That helps explain why Howard's side reportedly continues to dispute the matter, because agreeing to a settlement based on Georgia's guidelines today could potentially eliminate the opportunity to pursue a much larger amount in the future if Edwards' career continues on its current trajectory. Once you understand those incentives, the legal battle begins to make far more sense than simply assuming the disagreement is driven by personal conflict. Sometimes the biggest fight isn't about emotions at all. It's about what each side believes the future could look like. The panel also broadened the conversation by comparing this case to similar situations involving other professional athletes. And while it initially sounded like a side discussion, it actually reinforced an important point. According to the hosts, these cases have become so common that the public almost expects them to unfold in a predictable sequence. First comes outrage or support, depending on which side controls the early narrative. Then months later, a quieter legal resolution arrives with only a fraction of the original attention. The hosts even observed that many fans often don't know the mother's name, identifying her only through her connection to the athlete. And that says something about how celebrity disputes are consumed online. Before the legal process is complete or even fully understood, the financial figures and custody arguments are already being turned into entertainment content for millions of viewers. That disconnect explains why discussions like this generate endless commentary, despite the fact that very little verified information is often available in any given moment. The conversation also touched on the added pressure facing Anthony Edwards as a 23-year-old athlete trying to establish himself as one of the NBA's rising stars while navigating an intensely public legal dispute. Unlike an average person dealing with family court privately, every development in this case is immediately amplified through sports media, gossip platforms, podcasts, and social media commentary. That level of public attention inevitably changes how negotiations unfold because neither side can realistically expect privacy. Edwards has every reason to demonstrate financial responsibility publicly, regardless of private custody discussions, while Howard's side has an incentive to emphasize that nothing has officially been resolved if negotiations are still ongoing. In many ways, public perception is influencing this case almost as much as the legal arguments being made inside courtrooms in Georgia and California. For anyone trying to separate the facts from the headlines, the situation is actually much simpler than many viral posts suggest. Based on current reports, no final legal agreement has been completed, despite the widely circulated $1.08 million figure. And the central legal dispute still revolves around whether Georgia or California law should determine the child support obligations. Reports also indicate that a California judge has already ruled that Georgia's child support guidelines should apply, marking an important procedural development in the case. But even with those legal questions in focus, the issue that continues to dominate public discussion isn't the payment itself. It's whether Anthony Edwards intends to play an active role in his child's life beyond financial support. That's ultimately the thread connecting the entire conversation. The money may grab headlines, but questions surrounding parental involvement are what continue to keep people invested. And that's why this story has evolved into something much larger than another celebrity gossip headline. It has become an ongoing conversation about legal strategy, public perception, responsibility, and what people believe true parenthood should actually look like.